On July the 12th, we host the Conference League Riders Speedway final here at St Austell Speedway. And tonight, well, we got one of the qualifying rounds, one of the individual events. And, well, the weather's been a bit stormy. And, well, last year, should I say last week, Rerun Videos were not able to be here to actually film the Speedway meeting. And you could say that was also very stormy. Well, certainly the finish was very stormy. And it involved one of our favourite riders, and we're going to have a talk to him first of all this evening, and that's Steve Bishop. Steve, come on in, Steve. Now, it was a brilliant meeting last week. Unfortunately, as I just mentioned, Rerun Videos were not here. Now, there'll be a lot of viewers that didn't actually see what happened in that meeting and won't have a clue what I'm talking about. But basically, just to tell everybody about it, it was the bronze helmet when you, as the holder, against Roger Lobb, who was the top scorer of Newport then, before he signed for the Gulls, as the challenger. Tell us what happened in your own words.
Well, Roger made the start and I tried to come round him on the first turn. When we come in to the third turn here, we got to about the middle of the corner and Roger was still going right and didn't leave me much room. So I tried to stop and I'd done a pirouette, span right round and carried on, but...
it did look very impressive.
Yeah, it was a good job we've been dancing lessons. Then I give a little wave to the referee and...
You know, actually, I was on the infield, and looking from this angle, it did look nasty, as though he pushed you out. But they tell me the press corps up in the top of the double-decker bus said it didn't actually look quite as bad as it seemed. But obviously you were out there, so you know.
Yeah, we were bumping and barging coming round, but that wasn't the trouble. It's just I eventually ran out of room. Roger said he put too big a gear on and he couldn't pull it in tight.
Now you were on Strange bike as well?
Yeah, I was on Wayne's bike, so I was a bit worried when I was heading towards the fence, but it was okay, I saved it.
Right, before we go on to what was wrong with your bike, I believe that you ran into the pits. So I was watching you, full pelt, you went racing into the pits, grabbed hold of the pit phone. I think you told the referee off, I believe.
Yeah, I said a few nasty words and I got myself fined £150 for it.
Now that's actually a very big fine. I mean, a lot of people can't believe that the referee actually fined you that much at this, you know, basically what's in the third division, the Speedway.
That's right, I think it was rightly I was fined for using foul language, but... to
do with chickens, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And, but I think it's a bit steep for a league that we're not paid in, or, you know...
Did you get annoyed because the referee wouldn't listen to you, or did you get annoyed because he didn't stop the race?
Annoyed that he gave the decision the wrong way, or didn't stop it, because, well, it was a bit blatant that we were on our way towards the boards, but when it happened the other week before with Wayne, I had made a mistake going in down the bottom and took Wayne out, and I got excluded for it, which I agreed to. Right. Yeah. Yes. So inconsistency of the referees there. Well,
it was very exciting, and I'm sure the people that stayed for that very last race enjoyed it. And well, it was bedlam when I went back upstairs to the race control.
Yeah, I think there was arguments going on everywhere, but certainly livened it up, didn't it?
That's right. And well, you were on Wayne's bike. Why was that then?
Oh, I've been having a lot of trouble with mine. I can't get the setups right, or I think it's like the engine is so old, it's just worn out. We fix one thing and then another thing wears out, and I've borrowed an engine for Skegness and that was a bit better. I've got the same engine in today, so I'll have to see if I can get mine set up similar, and hopefully it don't keep wearing out, or if anybody out there wants to buy me a new one, it'd be nice.
So you're appealing for sponsors?
Yeah, certainly am. I could do with something. I've not got anybody at the moment. So.
That's absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? You're the king of St Austell Speedway, and several of the others have got sponsors, and you've got none at all.
That's right. A lot of them got bikes and tyre sponsors and everything. I think people automatically thought I was sponsored with everything. I don't know why or what gave them that impression.
International grass track star coming to St Austell, yeah?
I suppose that's what it seems like, yeah. But, no, I've got nobody at the moment, so anyone out there, nice for any help at all, thanks.
Well, I'm sure there's quite a few people listening to the video that might help. Steve, obviously during the close season they've altered the track around, dug it all up. Is it better or worse? Do you prefer it? It's more like a conventional speedway track now, surely?
Yes, it is. The shape and with the proper curbing is it's really good. I don't like it slick. I could do with some dirt on, which we can actually see the tractor going around putting it down now, but it's not got time to bed in today, but hopefully next week it could be a bit more grip on there.
Is there going to be a bit of problem with dust? Because obviously we've been through a lot of rain coming down from Bristol, but they obviously haven't had a lot of rain since earlier today, and if they haven't watered the track much and we don't get rain, I suppose we're going to have a heck of a lot of dust this evening.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be too bad because there ain't a lot of dirt there to come up and cause dust. I don't think we have much. There wasn't dust last week, was there? But
So your advice to Brian Anir and his sons is get some dirt then on the track?
yeah, make it easier for me. No one else can ride the dirt.
Very good. What about Skegness? That's a brand new track. Do they have much dirt on that one? Tell us about Skegness before you go.
Yeah, it was very good racetrack. Nice shape. They got the water in a bit wrong. Some patches were over slick and some were soggy and a bit inconsistent. But it's once they get the track preparation right, it'd be a very good racetrack.
They tell me that you fell off.
Yeah, my first crash since I come out of the Speedway.
And why was that?
I got into the grip and it just drove me straight. And then when I went to correct it, I ran out of the grip into the slick and it just slid across the track and into the boards.
But the lads did tremendously well up there to beat them, didn't they? Easily, but looking at teletext.
Yeah, we actually had a bigger lead in that, I think, after a few heats, and then they started pulling it back when the track was getting better. And then the last two races we had 2 5-1s and that sort of sealed it.
Now finally, tonight, Conference League Riders qualifying round. We got the big one here on July the 12th. You've got 2 rounds, I believe. There's one here. Whereabouts are you actually racing in your other round?
I got to go back to Skegness again this Sunday.
Really?
Saturday. Yeah.
All the way back. That's a fair old journey as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it took nearly 4 hours, so it's a good old journey.
It's not much. Well, it takes 3 to get here.
Yeah, it's true. So I hope I don't fall off again.
How many points do you reckon you actually need as a rider to get into that final? Because obviously there's 5 teams, I suppose 8 riders per team, so it's going to be quite a cut-first thing to actually get into that special final here at St Austell.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to be in the top 3 in both rounds to get through. I was trying to figure it out this afternoon, but I was busy with work and that, so I couldn't get around to figuring it out that well.
Who do you see as danger men here today? Because obviously you're racing against the goals as well.
Yeah, I haven't actually looked at the programme yet, so I don't know who's here. I know Wayne, Jason obviously, but
I suppose in a way it's almost better just to go the line and race.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. Sometimes I like to look at the programme, see who I'm up against, but normally I'm not bothered.
Now, of course, you're still doing the coaching for the riders? Obviously not tonight, individual, but for the team events?
Yes, obviously riding myself, I don't get to see all the races, but up at Skegness they had some second halves and the younger lads went out, and that gave me a good chance to have a look at them, pass some tips on and sort some things out. And a few of them picked up on a few tips, you know.
For a lot of people watching the Speedway in the UK, they won't have seen Adrian Newman from Mildura in Australia. What do you think of this lad then? Because he looks pretty spectacular. The crowd seem to like him here.
Yeah, he was spectacular at Skegness. He had a few crashes, but
oh, did he?
Yeah, one ride there, he looked really good. He's got all the right style, the right technique, and he really gave it a go. And yeah, I think it was the only person to be able to ride it well in those conditions. And obviously, if he can start finishing races, he's going to be good.
Chris Harris, how's he coming on?
He's going to be a star of the future, I think. At 15, he's very good. As long as he goes about it in the right way, he could be an elite rider.
Now, the other new recruit seems to be pretty dedicated, and that's Simon Stevens. Now, last year at that end of season final match, he was sort of 0 points, way off the pace. This year, he seems to have really got it, to get together. He's got a good bike. How do you think he'll progress? Because obviously we've seen some motocross stars like John Louis come into Speedway at a late age, 29, 30, and become sort of stars.
Yeah, he's obviously a good motorcyclist, and he's really willing to listen and learn, and he's taking note and coming on really well. And he's going everywhere to ride everywhere and trying to cram sort of 4 years into 1 year so he can learn quite a lot.
Well, finally, regarding the league championship, you've raced against Newport away, which the team lost, and down here, obviously, we've won against Newport and away at Skegness. How do you think we'll do against Newport later on when they have people like Chris Neath and Andrew Appleton in? Do you think we can catch them and win the league?
That's what we're banking on now. Yeah, we hopefully we can do better up there next time, and sort of emulate them everywhere else by winning away from home, and then if we go up to Newport and beat them up there, then we'll be pushing ahead of them.
It's going to be a very strong side now that Roger Lobb's been captured as well, isn't it?
Yes, we're nearly pushing up to the Premier League, aren't we?
That's right.
Long as we don't go winning by too many points everywhere, it's people will lose interest in the side because we're winning too easy.
That's right.
But yeah, it will be a very strong side.
Well, best of luck in the individual event tonight, and we'll speak to you again during the season. Thank you, Steve Bishop.
Right, thank you.
I have with me Jason Prynne, and Jason, have you been looking forward to racing the other lads in this individual event?
Yeah, it should be alright really. We're still here doing a bit of work at the track at the moment, but after riding at Skegness on Sunday, then anything is going to be an improvement, I think, because that is just a shithole of a place, basically.
Well, we spoke to Steve, but he didn't say too much about the surface. What was the surface of the track like?
Apparently they had stock car there or something a few nights before, and it was really rough on the bottom, so they put a load of loose dirt on top, but then it was just pits that you couldn't see, and it was that deep, it was really hard to turn. So after that, it went really slick on the inside, but if you went like 2 inches off the line, you're in trouble again, and it proved that by every rider in both teams crashing.
Do you find it easier riding a track like that, having ridden grass track? Because obviously some of the grass track boys like yourself seem to be able to ride almost anything.
It's probably easier if you know what to expect, but if you don't know that the surface is going to be like that and it's going to be a normal speedway track, you tend to like adjust the bike differently, and then when you go out there, you're just in no man's land, really.
It's a fair old journey from Skegness to St Austell, is it not?
Yeah, I think it took us about 6.5 hours either way, I think. And well, what can you say? We've got to do it again at the weekend.
Are you in that qualifying round up at Skegness, are you?
No, I'm at Mildenhall, but doubling up with Bish and Kevin Phillips to go up there. So got to go there on the Saturday anyway. So
basically, you'll take it in turns to be mechanic for each other at different rounds.
Yeah, look after one another and a bit of support as well, really.
I have with me, not actually one of the riders racing Speedway tonight, but a young lady who actually races Speedway, demonstration racing at the moment, up at Smallmead Stadium at Reading, because, Charlie, you're the mascot up there, aren't you?
Yeah, I have been for the past 3 years, and I'm getting there, eventually.
So, how old are you now?
13.
13. And are you hoping to actually get a proper licence to actually race when you come to 15 in the Conference League?
Yeah, I've got another 2 years to go, and then I can ride in the Amateur League, and I've got another year, and I can ride in the Premier League.
That sounds very confident.
Yeah, I am very confident.
Have you brought your bike here today to have a practice?
I know, because yesterday at Reading didn't have a ride, but I'm riding Saturday and Sunday and Monday, so I'm going to have a rest.
Tell us where you're riding then, Saturday and Sunday, Monday.
I think it's Kings Lynn, I'm not actually sure. On Monday I'm riding at Reading.
Obviously, yeah. So you're riding up at Kings Lynn?
Yeah, because it's I believe it's a practice on the Saturday and a 7-track meeting on the Sunday. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, enjoy your speedway and enjoy tonight here at St Austell.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have with me Chris Bennett, and well, Chris, it's going to be pretty tough for you this year, isn't it? A big squad they had to sign. I think there's 10 riders they had to sign for the Conference League, and you guys are fighting for your places to the bottom end, aren't you?
Yeah, we are. You know, we only started last year, and I thought they'd give us a bit more of a chance than what they have, really.
I think it's not. It's the league. It's actually the league stipulate they've got to have 10 riders, I think, now.
Yeah, that's right. It's but you know, I'm trying to fight for a place every meeting, and I'd actually gone in a bit of a semi-retirement. I didn't know I was riding tonight, as usual, until about 5 o'clock. So
puts a bit of pressure on you, does it not?
Oh, it does. It makes me want to give up.
No, you mustn't do that. One of our exciting riders.
Well, if I can if we can have a talk with the management, and maybe if they let me know if I'm riding, if I'm not, then possibly we can give it a go.
You went well at Reading a week ago, just over a week ago, didn't you, in the wet? I was very impressed. I was up there in the race control, didn't see much of you because I was obviously up in the gods basically, but you went well that night.
Yeah, I think I've been improving. I've been come up here with Wayne Barrett, and we've had a good practice round, and I was leading Bish for 3 laps, and and Roger Lobb the same, like, you know, and I think I was just coming together, and then they don't want me in the team so much, and it's just a bit disheartening, really, as well as I think I'm going, but maybe they don't.
I should imagine that on a night like tonight, it gives you the opportunity, I suppose, to sort of, you know, put on something special, really.
Well, yeah, I'm on a borrowed bike as well tonight, because I stripped all mine down and put all my engine in my grass bike and that, and I'd really called it a day, really, and they'd rung up and said that...
oh, you mustn't do that, our exciting Smiler. We can't have you doing you're retiring, whatever happens.
Yeah, don't expect too much on this bike, but I don't know what it's like.
You've got to keep fighting for your place, because we want you here at St Austell.
Yeah, but I think a lot of the crowd and that do, really, but, you know, it's up to the management, really.
I have with me a rider that, well, did actually sign for St Austell Speedway, but unfortunately the rules changed it all. We'll hear about that in a minute. And this is Gary Lobb. And Gary, welcome back to St Austell. I'm looking at your hand. Tell us all about it, because a lot of the viewers to rerun videos, I'm sure, would like to know exactly why you're all wired up.
It was all down to a night at Exeter. That was 4 weeks ago from today. And unlucky enough, I hit the fence and broke my wrist. But the only thing is, I broke it so close to the ball joint that they had to pin it, which, as you can see,
So that's actually stuck straight into your
into
arm.
the bone, yeah.
And you reckon that must be terribly painful.
It was for, like, say, the first week, but actually, as your muscles already got used to it, it's got a lot better now.
And just about off camera, you said you hope to be racing again in 2 weeks' time. Is that possible?
I think so, yeah, hopefully, yeah. So that'll be like 6 weeks. And they normally say 6 to 8 weeks to a break. So I'm calling it 6 weeks.
Yeah, right. Well, best of luck with that.
Oh, well, these Speedway riders certainly are mad, aren't they? Let's hope Gary's back in the saddle as soon as possible. Let's take a look at the lineup then for this Dunlop Conference League Riders qualifying round. At number 1, it is Lee Dixon of Skegness. Lee, well, he's ridden here before. At number 2, that man certainly has Steve Bishop, riding for St Austell, of course. And well, so as he said, he had his first fall since his return at Skegness on Sunday. At number 3, it is Chris Harris of St Austell. At number 4, it is Gary Sweet of Mildenhall. Long journey down for Gary. At number 5, it is Wayne Barrett of the Goals, who did so well at Skegness, where he scored 15 and 2 bonus points from his 7 rides, so on top form at the moment is Wayne. There is Chris Bennett coming in at number 6, a late replacement for Patrick Delubes of Skegness, the only French rider in the Conference League. At number 7, that is Paul Macklin of Buxton. At number 8, it is Simon Stevens of St Austell. Now we're a pretty warm evening here, just having a bit of liquid refreshment. At number 9, Jason Print. Jason, I don't think he was too enamoured with the Skegness circuit. At number 10, it is Richard Ford, who rides for the Newport Mavericks, who are setting the pace in the Conference League this season. And well, Richard seems a little bit chilly. At number 11, that is Simon Phillips, another BWOC goal. Anyway, he certainly seems to have plenty of things to say to our cameraman. At number 12, it is Mark Thompson of Mildenhall. Mark, well, he had a superb meeting on Friday at Arena Essex, a late replacement, guesting for Newport, and well, he scored paid 7 to help Arena at Newport, rather, to an away victory, only their second one since they've resurfaced. At number 13, it is young Russ Moss of Buxton. At number 14, Adrian Newman of St Austell. Richard Moss, rather, that was a Buxton. Apologies to Richard. Adrian, he really has been going very well in his short time here, the young Australian. At number 15, it is Kevin Phillips of St Austell, part of the 10-man squad, of course. And we're looking a bit nervous before tonight's meeting. At number 16, completing the lineup, it is Paul Elton. And well, there is Paul, of course, who also rides for the Newport Mavericks.
Don't have to be quiet, so get behind the boys.
And so the riders coming out then for heat number 1 of this qualifying round. And we've got Lee Dixon in red, Steve Bishop in blue, in white Chris Harris, and in yellow back it is Gary Sweeten. Well, the tapes didn't seem to go up too well there, but and well, the race it has in fact been stopped. We're going to have a restart.
He gets them in line.
And so the riders back round to the start then. Heat number 1 is about to get underway. Much even break this time as the tapes went up evenly. And where it is Lee Dixon who's out in front from Steve Bishop in second place. Chris Harris, he's back in third ahead of Gary Sweet, but what a bit of a surprise in the opening race as the Skegness Braves riders. Lee Dixon, well, he did lead the way, but he went out too wide, and Steve Bishop and Chris Harris, well, they both found a way past into first and 7. Lee will be disappointed with that, back in third spot now with Gary Sweet in last place. They come around to start the third lap, and it is the Bish who leads the way from young Chris Harris in second place. Chris, well, he rode at Skegness on Sunday and scored very well indeed. Paid 8 was his return. Steve Bishop, he scored paid 13. We said Wayne Barrett scored paid 17. Simon Stevens scored paid 7. Jason Prince paid 8. Kevin Phillips 2 and Adrian Newman scored 3. All his points coming in a race win, a 51-38 victory for the St Austell Goals then, getting their Conference League off to a good start with that away win. And well, Steve Bishop's got off to a good start here this evening. He wins the race in a time of 56.88 seconds. Chris Harris second, Lee Dixon third. As we can see again how the two St Austell Goals riders found a way past into first and second, getting the better of Lee.
So gate 1.
On to race number 2 then, and this one where it brings out Wayne Barrett in red, Paul Macklin in blue, in white Chris Bennett, in yellow and black is Simon Stevens. As the second race gets underway, and it looks like it is the rider in blue from Buxton, Paul Macklin, who's made a good start. He leads Wayne Barrett in second place. Here comes Wayne though on the inside, but Macklin, well, he's just holding him off at the moment. Simon Stevens, well, now he's coming around the outside of his more experienced teammate into second place, or does he indeed? He comes through in a second spot. Simon Stevens then moved through in a second place. Chris Bennett, well, now he's at the back, but it is the rider in blue, Paul Macklin from Buxton, who leads the way. So that's a bit of a surprise, as Dave Stallworthy said before the meeting. Unfortunately, we missed the meeting here last week, and well, in fact, there's a clash there, as Paul Macklin, well, he's been brought off there by Simon Stevens. And well, we'll take another look at that incident as the riders came down the home straight. It was Stevens who drove hard underneath on the inside of Paul Macklin, but well, I should imagine that Simon would be excluded from that as being the cause of the cause in that stoppage.
And the race has been awarded with the winner in blue, Paul Macklin.
And well, indeed, Paul Macklin gets the win. Second place awarded to Wayne Barrett, third spot. Well, in fact, there's no third place as Chris Bennett had an engine failure. The riders out then for heat number 3. This one which sees Richard Ford in red, in blue it is Simon Phillips, in white Jason Prynne, and in yellow and black it is Mark Thompson. As the race gets underway then, and well, it looks as if it is Jason who's made a good start off a 3. He has, but so's Richard Ford, and well, he's forced Jason out wide, and it's allowed Simon Phillips through into second place. So it is the Newport Maverick, Richard Ford, who leads the way. He's ridden here several times before, knows the track pretty well, and well, he's out in front ahead of Phillips in second place, with Jason Prynne back in third. Mark Thompson, he's at the back. And well, as we were saying before that last race, before the crash, that we unfortunately were unable to film here last week, we'll just give you the scorers. For those of you that didn't know the results, and Austell won by 57 points to 32 against Newport Mavericks. And for the goals, Steve Bishop scored 10 and 2 from 4 rides, a paid maximum. Chris Harris scored 8 and 1 bonus points. Wayne Barrett scored 12 and 1 from 5 outings. Simon Stevens scored 7 and 1. Jason Prince scored 12 and 1 from 5. Kevin Phillips scored 3 and 2. And Adrian Newman scored 5 and 1. And well, heat number 3 here this evening results in a win for Richard Ford. Second place to Simon Phillips, and well, Richard, he seems to have had a puncher so fortunate to finish the race. It's all happening here in the early heats. Third spot going to Jason Prynne, 59.77 seconds, the winning time. A walk back to the pits for Richard. On to race number 4, and this sees the last of the first rounds of rides for the competitors. Kevin Phillips, Adrian Newman, Paul Elton and Richard Moss as the riders come out of the start. And it looks like it's the rider in blue, young Adrian Newman, who leads the way from Paul Elton in second place, and Kevin Phillips, well, he's back in third. So it is the young Australian who is riding on a British passport who leads the way. Really has got quite a neat little style as Adrian, and well, he's out in first place. Second spot at the moment it is Paul Elton ahead of Kevin Phillips as they come round to start the third lap. Elton, well, he's still holding off Phillips at the moment. Richard Moss, well, we seem to have lost him, but Adrian Newman it is who's building up quite a lead out in front. He certainly is a thrill merchant as they come around to start the final lap, and it looks like it's going to be a comfortable victory for him. He certainly seems to be fast improving. He wins heat number 4. Second place goes to Paul Elton. Third spot to Kevin Phillips. Then Richard Moss, well, we didn't see too much of him, but we certainly did of Adrian. 60.19 his winning time, and getting a good reception from the crowd down the back straight. He joins Richard Ford, Paul Macklin and Steve Bishop as race winners in their first heats. So the riders out then for heat number 5. This one, which sees Richard Moss 2 in the trot. He comes out in red, in blue it is Lee Dixon, in white Wayne Barrett, in yellow and black it is Jason Prynne as the race gets underway. And Wayne Barrett, well, he's not made a good start, but his teammate Jason Prynne has from the outside, but so's Lee Dixon off gate number 2. And well, in fact, Dixon, was he going to come round to lead the way? He was leading in his first race but dropped back to third spot. It's a good battle out in front. Jason Prynne on the outside of Lee Dixon, but Dixon, well, he's trying to come through on the inside. A cracking heat of speedway then in race number 5. Prynne, well, he still leads the way, but Dixon, well, he's not giving up. He's riding that inside line, and well, now it looks as if he has come through to lead it from Prynne in second place. Wayne Barrett, well, he's also trying to get in on the action. He's back in third. Again, Richard Moss, well, he's quite a distance behind, but out in front it is Lee Dixon who leads the way. The Skegness rider is out in front. We've lost Jason Prynne there. Can he remount possibly and get third place? No, he cannot at the moment, as Richard Moss has come through in the third spot. But it's going to be victory for Dixon. Second place to Wayne Barrett. Third spot to Richard Moss, 58.37. That was Lee's winning time. And really mechanics these days for Chris Louis. So he's certainly seen plenty of very top-class speedway action, and well, he produces a bit of his own in heat number 5, getting the win. 4 points from his first 2 rides. On to heat number 6. Adrian Newman comes out in red, in blue it is Richard Ford, in white Steve Bishop, in yellow back Chris Bennett. So 3 of the race winners in their first heats come out in this one, and well, in fact it is Adrian Newman and Steve Bishop who are leading the way, with Richard Ford, well, he's back in third, but Newman it is who's leading the King of St Austell. That's a major surprise. Adrian leads at the end of the first lap. A quick look behind to see where Bishop was, and well, in fact he's fallen, and well, he'll be very disappointed indeed with that. He is continuing though. Steve Bishop then, he leads the way, and well, he's got a big lead now over the rider in blue. That is Richard Ford. In third place it is Chris Bennett. Adrian Newman will be disappointed with that fall as they start the final lap. The riders were very spaced out indeed in this one. Adrian, well, he's still going, but he's at the back. Meanwhile, out in front it's going to be victory for Steve Bishop. He takes the checkered flag. Second place goes to Richard Ford. Third spot to Chris Bennett. Adrian Newman unable to close in after that spill. It's 56.69. That was Bishop's winning time. 2 wins out of 2, and a quick time indeed for the track record holder.
The official result of Heat 6. A win in white for Steve Bishop. Heat winning time 56.69. 56.69.
Adrian Newman back into the pits.
Second in blue,
So the riders out then for heat number 7. Simon Phillips comes out off gate number 1. Off gate number 2 it is Kevin Phillips. Off gate 3 Paul Macklin. Good race winner in his first ride. From the outside it is Chris Harris. As the race gets underway, and well, as it goes that first turn, in fact, with Paul Macklin, well, he's come down. He collided there with Kevin Phillips. And well, we'll take another look at that one. As the two riders came together and were both going down, what will the referee decide?
The race will be rerun with all 4 riders.
All 4 riders, you can hear, back in the restart. And so the riders made it back round then. Simon Phillips off 1, Kevin Phillips off 2, Paul Macklin off 3, Chris Harris from the outside. And well, this time there's no such problems as Kevin Phillips, well, in fact he leads the way. Here comes Paul Macklin around the outside as they go into that third turn. It's a close battle between the pair of them once more, and well, they coming together. It's certainly very close indeed. Chris Harris, well, he's trying to get in on the action, and with Chris Harris, well, I'm not sure if he's come down. I think Kevin Phillips has. And well, Paul Macklin, he's also down on the ground.
And the referee has made the decision that all 4 riders will come back.
And well, all 4 riders are back in the rerun. There's some exciting action. Let's see it again. And well, this really was very tight action indeed, as Kevin Phillips and Paul Macklin were knocking spots off each other, and Chris Harris, well, he gets in on the action. We sends both Phillips and Macklin down onto the ground. All 4 back in the rerun. And so the third time of asking then, heat number 7. Once more Simon Phillips, Kevin Phillips, Paul Macklin and Chris Harris as the race gets underway. And well, again it is Kevin Phillips and Paul Macklin who lead the way. Chris Harris, well, he didn't make a good gate and he finds himself at the back. But once more these 2 riders in the white and blue helmet comes over in a terrific battle. Paul Macklin, well, he's come down this time. And well, the rider in blue, Kevin Phillips, he's also come down. Chris Harris, well, he couldn't do anything but run straight into Kevin. A bad spill. Well, are we ever going to get this heat number 7 run? Let's take another look at this. Oh, what a heat of speedway this is. These 2 riders were really well going hammer and tongs for it once more. Paul, well, he comes down. Kevin Phillips tried to lay his machine down. Chris Harris could not avoid Kevin Phillips. And well, let's hope man and machine are okay after that. A special mention to Simon Phillips, who managed to avoid the stricken riders. And well, not surprisingly, Paul Macklin has been excluded this time as being the cause of the stoppage, and well, unfortunately Kevin Phillips has been as well. He's failed to make it under the 2 minutes. So we understand it's Richard Deering who's come out to take his place, the track reserve. And as the race gets underway, the 4th time of asking, heat number 7, what an epic this has turned out to be. Chris Harris it is who leads the way then from Simon Phillips in 2nd place. And young Richard Deering, well, he's back in 3rd. And well, ironic really that the 2 riders who caused all the incidents in the earlier stages of this race, well, they're both out of it. Kevin Phillips, very unfortunate, of course, having mechanical problems, unable to get his machine sorted out. And we may have picked up an injury as well. Meanwhile, the race, well, it is getting underway, and it seems a lot tamer affair this time around, as Chris Harris leads the way then from Simon Phillips. And Richard Deering, well, he's back in 3rd. It's going to be victory for Chris. He takes the checkered flag. 2nd spot goes to Simon Phillips, with Richard Deering going to collect a point in 3rd. So, well, thank goodness for that. Heat number 7 finally finished. 57.10. That was Chris's winning time. He'll be delighted with his first win. 5 points from his first 2 rides, going along very nicely. On to heat number 8 then, and well, we've already tried to have one start to this race, but Mark Thompson was excluded for touching the tape, so Richard Deering gets another outing. He's in white off gate number 3, Paul Elton from the outside, Seymour Stevens off 2, Gary Sweet from the inside as the race gets underway. Well, in fact it is Stevens who leads the way then from Paul Elton in 2nd place, and Gary Sweet, well, he's in 3rd spot at the moment. So this will complete the 2nd rounds of rides then for the competitors. And with Seymour Stevens it is who leads the way. He was excluded, of course, in his first ride, having fallen. He's looking pretty steady in heat number 8 though. Paul Elton going out wide, as is Gary Sweet, as they come round to start the final lap. And Simon Stevens it is, who looks as if victory is assured for him. Paul Elton in second place, and Gary Sweet, well, he's back in third. But it's going to be another St Austell goal then, who gets the victory, takes the checker flag, easing up on the line. Second place to Elton, third spot to Gary Sweet, 59.22 the winning time. And well, it could have been a bit quicker, but Seaman was saving his engine. And well, I think you can tell he's pretty happy with his win. On to race number 9. This one, well, it sees Chris Bennett coming out in red. In blue it is Paul Elton, 2 on the trot. In white it is Lee Dixon. In yellow and black it is Simon Phillips as the race starts. And well, in fact it is Paul who leads the way from the rider in red. That is Chris Bennett in second place. Lee Dixon, who had a good win in his last ride, well, he's only back in third, but trying to close in on Chris Bennett. But Chris, well, he's having a good ride in second place. Simon Phillips, well, he's at the back. So the best ride for Bennett then of the evening. Now it certainly will be a shame if he does retire. Certainly gives the crowd plenty of thrills. Now a very bubbly character as well. He's holding on to second place at the moment. Meanwhile out in front it is Paul Elton who leads the way. And well, a win for him would put him on the 7-point mark after 3 rides. All eyes on that battle for second place though between Chris Bennett and Lee Dixon. Lee, well, he had a win in his last ride, and he's certainly not going to get that in this heat. And well, I don't think he's going to get second place as well. Chris Bennett, well, is he holding him off? He's having a few problems, but he turned on the power once more. He's just held on to second place. A close finish though, a good race between those two. The win going to Paul Elton in a time of 59.27 seconds. A good battle for second and third. Chris Bennett managing to keep Lee Dixon at bay. On to race number 10, and we've got to change to the lineup in this one. Kevin Phillips unfortunately has had to withdraw from the meeting following that spill he had earlier, and well, his place is taken by Richard Deering in this one. Mark Thompson comes out in red. In blue it is Wayne Barrett, and in yellow and black it is Steve Bishop. So the battle is joined between the two experienced goals, and well, it looks like Bishop's coming around the outside of Barrett into first place. Indeed he does. And well, Richard Deering, well, we just called him falling at the back. Can he get off the track in time, or will the race have to be stopped? No, it will not at the moment. Steve Bishop, well, he's leading the way, and well, a win here would put him as the leader after the opening 3 rides for all the competitors. The only unbeaten rider so far, and it looks like he's going to get a victory over one of his big rivals here this evening. Wayne Barrett in second. And well, Mark Thompson's going round to collect a point as well, which would be his first of the meeting, but it is Bish who wins heat number 10. Second place to Wayne Barrett, third spot to Mark Thompson, 59.83. That was the winning time. And well, both these riders getting a good round of applause. A good sized crowds turned up here this evening, not the best of nights. Of course the holiday crowds will all be turning up shortly. I'm sure the crowds will be as big as they were last season. Once that gets in full swing, Steve Bishop certainly is a race win number 3. On to heat number 11. This one where it brings out Simon Stevens in red. In blue it is Jason Prynne. In white Chris Harris. In yellow and black Adrian Newman. 3 of these riders have been race winners so far this evening as the heat gets underway. And well, in fact it looks as if it is Simon Stevens who leads from Adrian Newman in second place, with Chris Harris in third. And well, here comes Newman. In fact, well, he's fallen, and well, he's gone down by the pit's entrance. We'll take another look at that spill, and well, the referee certainly having a busy night here this evening. What will he decide on this one? And well, in fact it is Simon Stevens been excluded. And well, I shouldn't think he'll be too pleased about that, but that is the decision. Shaking his head at the referee. But Simon, well, he's earned another exclusion, his second of the meeting so far. And well, Simon was definitely far from happy with that decision, but the referee has not changed his mind, so 3 riders only then coming out for the restart. Jason Pring, Chris Harris and Adrian Newman, and where it is the Australian who's come around the outside to lead the way then. Certainly he has got an all-action style. He's out in front from Jason Pring in second place, and in third spot it is Chris Harris. So Seaman, well, I can imagine why he would feel a bit aggrieved as for that exclusion, but that's up to the referee to make the decisions. Of course, Adrian Newman, will he certainly take full advantage of being allowed in the rerun as they come round to start the final lap. He leads the way then from Jason Prin in second and Chris Harris back in third. So a win here for Adrian, without put him on 6 points. He's won his 2 rides that he's completed. Fell, of course, in his other one leading Steve Bishop. He gets a win. Second place to Jason. Third spot to Chris. 56.42, the fastest time of the meeting so far. And well, he's certainly got a cult following very early on in his career here at the motor park. Fine win in heat 11. On to heat number 12 then of what's been a very entertaining meeting, and this one, well, it sees Richard Moss coming out in red, Gary Sweet in blue, in white Richard Ford, in yellow and black Paul Macklin as the riders come out of the start. Well, in fact, it looks as if Paul has made the start and he leads the way from Richard Ford in second place, and Gary Sweet and Richard Moss, well, they're battling for the odd point with Richard in third place at the moment. And well, in fact, he's just fallen and has allowed Gary Sweet through into third place. Meanwhile, out in front, it is Paul Macklin who leads the way. Paul, he had that exclusion in his second outing, which he wasn't too pleased about when he collided with Kevin Phillips, of course, who's had to withdraw from the meeting. But he leads the way in heat number 12. And well, in fact, we seem to have lost Richard Ford as Gary Sweet now has come through into second place. So certainly plenty of incidents here this evening as Paul Willie hits problems on that fourth turn, but he's able to stay on his machine. He gets the win. Second place to Gary Sweet. And well, are we going to have a third finisher? It's not going to be Richard Ford. He's had engine failure. And well, Richard Moss, he comes across the line to take a point. His second of the meeting, 60.6 the winning time. Paul Macklin getting his second win of the meeting. He moves on to 6 points.
The official result, P12.
On to race number 13 then. And well, Paul, he's quickly out again. He's in red off this one. In blue it is Mark Thompson, in white Adrian Newman, in yellow black Lee Dixon. As the race gets underway, Thompson, well, he's made a bad start, but out in front it is Lee Dixon who leads the way. So another rider in the yellow helmet colour who leads. This could possibly be the fourth winner in a row for the rider from the outside. Gate 4 obviously working well at the moment. Dixon it is then who leads the way from the rider in red. Paul Macklin in second place, and Adrian Newman, well, he's only back in third ahead of Mark Thompson as they come around to start the third lap. And it is Lee Dixon who's leading the way. And Paul Macklin, he's gone out very wide indeed on that first and second bend. And well, indeed, he's now been passed by Adrian Newman. Unfortunately, we just missed that one, but Adrian has come through into second place. It looks like it's going to be a win for Lee Dixon, the fourth rider in a row off gate number 4 to win a heat. And well, Lee looking behind, has he got a punch? He certainly doesn't seem too happy. And with it, the rider in blue, that was Mark Thompson. He just came through to pit Paul Macklin, who's come down at the end of that race. So again, more thrills and spills here at St Austell. 58.13. That was Lee Dixon's winning time. And well, good to see that Paul's back to his feet, but no points for him in heat number 13. On to race 14 then. This one where it sees the leader, Steve Bishop, coming out in red. In blue it is Richard Moss. In white, Simon Stevens. In yellow and black, Simon Phillips. As the tapes rise, and it looks like the Bishop's made a good start from the inside, and he leads the way from the rider in white. That is Simon Stevens in second place. Here comes Simon Phillips around the outside. of Richard Moss to move through in a third spot, but it is Steve Bishop who leads the way. And well, he's certainly looking on good form here this evening. And with these riders, they have to ride in 2 meetings. Each track in the Conference League has got 1 qualifying round. They have 8 of their own riders plus 2 each from each of the other tracks. And well, after the 5 rounds, it is the top 16 who will be back here on July the 12th for the Conference League Riders Final. Dunlop sponsoring their course. And that promised to be a cracking meeting. And Steve Bishop, well, he leads the way in his first qualifying round. Second place goes to the rider in white, that is Simon Stevens. Third spot to Simon Phillips. And was Steve's winning time. In fact, he's broken his old track record, 54.94, an exceptionally fast time for so late in the meeting. And well, I'm sure he doesn't realise it yet, but he soon will do. He's lowered his own track record. The riders out then for heat number 15. Paul Elton in red, in blue Chris Harris in white, Richard Ford in yellow, black Wayne Barrett as they come out of the start. And when it looks as if it is the rider in blue, that is Chris Harris, who's made the best gate from Wayne Barrett in second and Paul Elton back in third. And we'll give you some wrong information about the track record. Of course, Mark Simmons, well, he got the track record this year from Bish. The last meeting that we filmed down here, the individual meeting, and well, he'd set it at 55.9, but Steve Bishop, well, he has lowered it to 54.9 as Wayne Barrett, well, he's pulled out with engine failure, so that's not going to do his chances any good of qualifying for the final here on July the 12th. As Chris Harris, well, he leads the way. They're on the final lap. Second place, it is Paul Elton, and third spot, Richard Ford. But it's going to be a race win then for young Chris. This is his second of the meeting. He's having a good time. That's 9 points from his first 4 rides. Second place to Elton, that puts him on 9 points as well. Third spot to Richard Ford. He's on 6 points. But Wayne Barrett, well, that certainly not helped his cause. He's also on 6 after his first 4, 57.1. That was Chris's winning time. On to heat number 16 then, and this will bring to a close the first 4 rides for each of the competitors here this evening. Jason Prynne, Chris Bennett, Gary Sweet and Richard Deering coming out for Kevin Phillips are the 4 riders. And well, in fact, it is Jason Prynne who leads the way then, from Chris Bennett in second place. Gary Sweet, well, he's in third ahead of young Richard. Now a good battle going on for second place at Gary Sweet. Well, he's fallen, but he has remounted, and well, he's still in front of Richard Deering, who seems to have pulled out with engine failure. There he is. So the riders will again a bit spaced out in this race, but it is Jason Prynne who's heading towards what would be his first win of the meeting. This will put him onto 6 points with his last race coming up. 1 lap to flag, 1 lap to go, flag is out. And well, that's Chris Bennett in second place, and Gary Sweet, well, he's back in third, but it's going to be a very comfortable victory then for the St Austell rider. He takes the checkered flag. Second place goes to Chris Bennett, and third spot, so that's going to go to Gary Sweet, 60.96 the winning time. Now we're Jason scoring his first victory of the evening. On to heat number 17 then, and the last rides for these 4 competitors. Lee Dixon, Simon Stevens, Richard Deering coming out for Kevin Phillips once more, and Richard Ford. And as they go into the first corner, where it is Lee Dixon who leads the way, so now it seems to be the inside gate positions that are favourable. We had a spell there when the outside gates were the ones to be on, but it is now Lee Dixon who leads the way from Simon Stevens in second place. Richard Ford, well, he's in third ahead of young Deering. And with a win here for Lee Dixon, well, that would be his third of the meeting. That would put him on to 11 points. And a pretty solid performance by him if he can get this win. Simon Stevens, well, he's certainly been in the thick of the action. He'll be aggrieved at his last exclusion, I'm sure, as they come round to start the final lap. And Stevens, well, he went out very wide indeed there, but he has managed to keep going. It's going to be victory number 3 though for Lee Dixon. The Skegness Brave finish off with a race win. Second place goes to Stevens, ahead of Richard Ford. 60.17. That was his winning time. And well, with his home track round to come, it's certainly a good performance by Lee. On to race number 18 then, and well, this could decide who wins the meeting here this evening. Jason Prince, Steve Bishop, Paul Macklin and Paul Oughton are the 4 riders as they come out of the start. Bishop of course unbeaten, but well, he could be losing out here because it is Jason Prin, his teammate in normal circumstances, who leads the way from Steve in second place, who regained the track record of course in his last ride. And well, here he comes around the outside of Jason, a cracking heat in race number 18 then, and well, here comes the Bish once more around the outside of Jason. He's moved through into first place in fine style. He bided his time and well, then came through to lead it from Jason Prin in second, with Paul Oughton in third, and Paul Macklin, who's certainly had a mixed evening. He's in last place, but it looks as if Bish is going to win the meeting here with a 15-point maximum, although he's looking down at his machinery, and well, let's hope it doesn't stop before the checkered flag is shown. And well, he's pulling away now from Jason Prin, and he's going to get the victory. The King of St Austell wins this meeting with a maximum. Second place goes to Jason Prin, third spot to Paul Oughton, 58.55. That was Steve's winning time, and well, celebrating in style, as you can see, and well, cracking stuff, but entertainment wise afterwards then. And we've taken a look at what he did during the race, finding a way past Jason to win heat number 18, 5 wins out of 5, and well, the crowd are pleased with his victory, no doubt. He wins the meeting here this evening. So the riders coming out there for heat number 19, Chris Harris in red, Mark Thompson in blue, Richard Moss in white, and in yellow and black it is Chris Bennett. And well, who's going to be on the rostrum with Steve as the riders come out to start with? In fact, it could be Chris Harris, because he leads the way. He's on 9 points so far, and a win here would put him on 12 points. Chris Bennett, well, he's in second place ahead of Mark Thompson in third, Richard Moss, he's at the back. But it is Chris who leads the way, and well, he's increasing his lead substantially. He's already had a couple of race wins here this evening. 2 laps gone, and well, look at the lead he's got there over Chris Bennett in second place. Mark Thompson, well, he's behind in third place, about 4 lengths behind Chris. But it is Harris who leads the way then. They're on the final lap. Bennett in second, Thompson in third, Moss at the back. Doesn't look as if the places are going to change as they come round to take the checkered flag then. And well, Chris Harris, he wins it very easily indeed. Chris Bennett in second, and Mark Thompson gets a point in third, 57.64. That was Chris's winning time, and well, that puts him on 12 points, and he may well pick up second place with that finish.
The official result of heat 19, heat of the evening.
On to the final race in heat number 20. Wayne Barrett comes out in red. He could do with a good race here. In blue it is Adrian Newman, in white Simon Phillips, in yellow and black it is Gary Sweet. And well, in fact, Chris Harris, he cannot be overtaken for second place. What's going to happen in this final heat as Adrian Newman, well, he leads the way from Simon Phillips in second place, and Wayne Barrett, well, he's back in third ahead of Gary Sweet, but it is the Australian who's there in front, Adrian Newman. And he certainly does look a big find by Brian Annear here this season. He leads the way after a couple of laps, and well, he could finish in joint third place here. A win would put him on 11 points, and of course he was leading Steve Bishop when he fell in his second outing. As they come round to start the final lap, then it is Adrian who's out in front from Simon Phillips in second, Wayne Barrett in third, and Gary Sweet, well, he's disappointing meeting. Looks like it's going to end with the last place, but it certainly hasn't been disappointing for Adrian. He wins his third race of the meeting. Second place goes to Simon Phillips, third spot to Wayne Barrett. 58.18 was the winning time. So Adrian, well, he finishes joint third with Lee Dixon then. And we're getting a good reception. They certainly do appreciate a tryer, and that's certainly what Adrian is. And as he goes back to the pits, let's take a look at all of this evening's point scorers.
Do a lap of honour before we give you the result. How about this then, the young man?
And well, Adrian taking a lap of honour, and no wonder. And well, now let's take a look at those scorers. And well, Lee Dixon, he finishes with 11 points, 3 race wins and a couple of third places. A good meeting for him, joint third with Adrian Newman, Steve Bishop, King of St Austell. His form continues, 15-point maximum, and getting the track record as well here this evening. Good night's work for Steve. Chris Harris, well, he does very well indeed. He finishes in second place with 3 race wins, a second and a third, 12 points, well done to him. Gary Sweet, well, he struggled a bit, his best ride coming in his third outing. He finishes with 4 points. Wayne Barrett, well, he struggled surprisingly. He finishes with 7 points here this evening. Chris Bennett, well, he also finished on 7 points, picked himself up after a fall in his first ride, and finishing with 3 second places. Paul Macklin, well, he was certainly in the thick of the action. He finished with 6 points, including 2 race wins. Simon Stevens, well, he was a bit unfortunate to be excluded in his third ride. He finished with 7 points, a win, 2 seconds and 2 exclusions. Jason Print, he finished with 8 points, got going after a slow start. Only scored 1 from his first 2. That included a fall. Then finished off with 2 seconds and a win. Richard Ford, right there is Richard. He finished with 7 points, started off very well with a race victory, but then tailed off somewhat. Simon Phillips, where he was pretty consistent. He finished with 7 points from his 5 rides, including 3 second places. Not sure what's happened to Mark Phillips this year. He doesn't seem to be on the at St Austell. His brother, of course, Mark Thompson, he finished with 3 points from his 3 rides. At number 12, it was Richard Moss. There is Richard. He finished with just a couple of points from his 5 outings. Long way to come for just 2 points. Adrian Newman, well, what a meeting for him. He finishes on 11 points, and well, he would have been second outright if it wasn't for that fall he had whilst leading Steve Bishop. Who knows whether he'd have managed to keep him off after 4 laps. He led him for a couple. Kevin Phillips, where he scored just 1 point, and well, he was very unfortunate. Of course, he was excluded in his second ride after not making the 2-minute time allowance. And unfortunately, it was an injury that prevented him from carrying on in the meeting. Paul Alton, where he finishes in 5th place with 10 points, which included 1 race win. He'll be pretty pleased with that. And the reserve, Richard Deering, well, he had 5 rides and scored 1 point from them. And well, just after the meeting, we did speak with some of the competitors, starting with the rider who finished joint third. This is what he had to say to Dave.
Have with me the flying Aussie Adrian Newman at the end of the Conference League Riders qualifying round, and what a fabulous night's race, and you were absolutely brilliant. You've now arrived. You must be pleased with that one.
Yeah, that's about time really. Like, we've had some bad races, and after Sunday's meeting at Skegness I was really gutted and down and out, and this is sort of my last chance to really have a good go, and I'm really determined, and it's all worked out, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Brilliant. Where's your next round and when?
At Buxton. I don't know when. It's on a Saturday afternoon, what they tell me, but I've never been there. I've never seen the track in my life, but they tell me it's pretty tight, and yeah, I'm sort of looking forward to getting there. I've got to score a few points anyway to try and get in the final. So if the final's here, so if I score a few points, then I should be all right for the final, I hope.
Be wonderful, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'll be a dream come true, really. So
you got a guy to beat though, Steve Bishop. He's going well.
Yeah, I had him for 1 lap there, and I don't know what went wrong. But I'm confident I can beat him. But I'm riding the track perfect now. I can improve a few places, but as far as riding this track, I'm pretty right now, I think. Anyway, yeah.
Looking forward to league action again next week.
Yeah, I don't know who we're riding yet.
Skegness. Lee Dixon will be back with his
well,
but he knows the way around here now.
We'll beat them, I reckon, easily.
Well done. Great night, and congratulations. Well done. Adrian Newman. With me coming in now is Simon Stevens, and Simon, you must be a bit upset with tonight. Had a few problems, yeah?
There's one or two people I could wring their necks, but obviously someone had it in for me today. I threw away 6 good points there, so it would have put me on, 13 points, would have put me in a good place for the next round, but that's the way it goes.
Weren't too happy with the referee, were you?
Not very happy at all.
No.
I've been treated bad before, but that there was just disgusting.
You're learning what Speedway's all about fairly quickly here, I think, yeah?
Well, the bad end of it for a minute, but I'm looking forward to getting some points together and finishing one meeting without getting excluded.
Where's your next round for this championship?
My round will be, along with Wayne's, we're at Newport Friday week.
Friday week?
Yeah.
Oh, well, best of luck there to see if you can pull them points back so as you can get into the final on the 12th of July.
Well, I'll give it 100%, but hopefully there's a nice referee up there waiting for me.
Brilliant. Well done, Simon.
Thank you.
Just relaxing with a Coke and a burger. Wayne, mechanical problems it looked like for you tonight.
Yeah, after Sunday, after riding the bike was Simpson Plant sponsored me with, we had to find out we had a cracked valve seat, and obviously you can't ride it with a cracked valve seat, so we rode the spare bike, which is, I think it's the second time I've ridden it this year, and to be honest, it was like all set up all wrong. By the time we got it going good on the 3rd ride, then Billy, I think the big end's just gone.
Oh dear.
So mechanical problems.
Yeah, well, best of luck to get it ready for, when's your next round? Oh, not for a while, is it, your next round?
I think it's a week this Friday. Obviously we got next week.
Should be okay for the league action next week though, yeah?
Yeah, hopefully, yeah, we should have it all back by the weekend, hopefully, yeah.
Brilliant, well done. And Simon, your injury okay now? You look like you're going all right.
Yeah, it's aching fair, but it's on the mend anyway, so that's the main thing, isn't it?
Yeah, you didn't look like you had any problems tonight as you were going round.
That was right when I was going around, just when I stopped. So
very good.
Just because the adrenaline was keeping me going, so when I stopped, that's when it started to hurt.
Taking a bit now?
Yeah, giving it loads now.
Well, I'm sure that somebody will massage it for you, yeah?
Yeah, that'll be right.
Well done, lads. Cheers. While we're still down in the pits, and we've got young Chris Harris here now. And Chris, you probably heard the crowd cheer when there's a couple of those wins. You were beating some good riders here tonight. You must be very pleased with yourself.
Yeah, not too bad. Glad I did.
You don't sound that enthusiastic, but you've done really well.
Yeah, just got to go Mildenhall on Sunday and do my best up there.
That's your next round, is it?
Yeah, this Sunday coming.
Have you ridden at Mildenhall before?
Yeah, I went up last Saturday, and I went out for one ride because I was reserved.
You got the feel of the track. I believe it's a very fast track, is it not?
Yeah, it is a fast track, and it's a gating track, so if you get out the gate, you'll be all right and keep tight.
Well, you've been gating well tonight, so you should be all right.
Yeah, best I've gated.
Brilliant. Best of luck at Mildenhall.
Right, thanks.
I have with me Paul Houghton, and Paul, pretty average evening for you. You don't look a bit fed up with it. So what's the feelings now down here in the pits?
Not that happy about it really. I set myself, it was slick, real slick last week, so set myself up for that. It was grippy today, so struggled a bit earlier on and out the gates. It wasn't going too bad, but you know, I was struggling a little bit, not racing the well I should be really.
When are you coming back down to St Austell this year? Do you know when you're coming back?
I don't know, I've been there every week, haven't I?
You have, haven't you? Yeah, they'll be signing you soon.
Nah, can't have too many more days off work. Hopefully, if I get through to the final, I'll be back down there then, and when Newport come down. So we got a bit of revenge, I think, on that one.
Oh yes, of course, yeah. Newport won't stand a chance here, will they?
Oh yeah, we're having.
Paul Houghton.
All our kids then, all our super teenies, and
they won't know what hit them when they get on the track. It'd be nice and deep for them. Chris Neath and Andrew Appleton won't know what hit them.
No, I think it'll be the other way around though.
Cheers, well done, Paul. Paul Houghton. Steve Bishop, on a bike, I interviewed you and you said the bike was rubbish. You broke the track record, you got a 15-point maximum. What you got to say about that? Are you psyching everybody up? Were you telling me porkies?
No, I told you the other engine was knackered, and this is one I borrowed.
Oh, so the borrowed one was pretty good.
Yeah, it didn't go too bad, did it?
Whose is it? Who's it belong to?
It's actually my grass track engine, but I borrowed it from a grass track bike.
Oh, right. Oh, it's Rolf in here.
I let him off easy today.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah.
Sat down in front of me.
Yeah, I thought, because I don't want to ruin his reputation.
Yeah. What are you going to, if you get to the final, what are you going to do to Steve in the final? Are you going to beat him?
Win. No, I'll let him win.
You let him win, will you?
You should have won today because Steve was going to do a streak, wasn't he?
Yeah.
What's this? What's this streak? What's this?
If Rolf got a maximum today, Stephen here was going to do a streak.
Yeah.
So what happens when you get a maximum in the league, which you will do sometime?
He's going to take us to end of season trip to Paris. Yeah.
Is he? I better get invited for that, won't I?
Yeah, that's why I want to hang around.
I don't know. I'll be safe with you lot, to be honest. Anyway.
You too, Dave.
Thank you very much. They might have you racing in Paris then.
Have a shower this week.
No, I've got to get
Starting
home. I've got to get up early in the morning. See you guys later.
What's that all about?
Oh, yeah, Skegness, he never had a shower. He stank.
Oh dear, all the way back. Tell me, I didn't realise you had a shower in this caravan. When did that go in then?
Today.
Oh, it's the
first one, yeah.
First one. Was it okay? Is it suitable for you star riders?
Well, it's only one.
One shower?
Yeah, one shower and we all got to queue up.
We don't all go in there together?
Yeah, and just keep running around in a circle.
I thought you might all get... I thought that's probably why they couldn't get you, because you took a long time to come out. So you being one of the shortest and smallest, I thought you were trapped in the back or something.
Yeah, trampled on.
Anyway, are you satisfied with that 15-point maximum and the track record?
Yeah, I enjoyed it today. It was the only gate I made, and I had to work hard for the other wins, and I was quite chuffed. Things kept falling apart in here, but
Saturday or Sunday your next round?
Saturday, Skegness.
Brilliant. Good luck there, and we'll get the report on it next week here at Clay Country Motor Park.
Okay, cheers.
Thank you. Steve Bishop.